So smoky that we live on a hill, couldn't most of the weekend see across the valley, but by Sunday I couldn't even see my neighbor's house. And I thought of that today when we were up there, meeting with the fire crews and the others who are up there. Imagine the conditions they're undergoing every day to try and save property, try and save the resources, try and fight back against these monster fires. We're going to give them all the tools they need, all the personnel they need. And what's been going on in Washington for a couple of decades is just insanity. And you know, that's not unusual for Washington. It's a pretty out of touch place. But we did pass a bill through the House last Congress that would have said we would fund fires at the 10-year average, which is obviously growing. And then when the Forest Service exceeded that 10-year average, that it would be declared a national disaster, just like a hurricane, just like an earthquake, just like a volcanic eruption. And that money would then come from the Federal Emergency Management Agency, and it wouldn't gut the Forest Service budget. The chief wasn't. We did get some extra money into the continuing resolution, which will pay them back. But I was talking to the chief, and he said, because of the way things work, we are having to cancel and cut things right now, even though we know that money's coming. So that means there's some fuel reduction projects that won't go forward. That means there's critical recreation things that they were planning to do, let budgets by the end of the year, let contracts, they're not going to go forward. This has got to stop. We have to adequately fund these fires. We need to have even more robust funding so we can have more pre-deployed, pre-trained crews that are available. Since the Biscuit fire, which was a huge 500,000 acre fire in my district and Greg's district a number of years ago, we started a debate on the Resources Committee where Greg and I both served at the time, and it quickly devolved into sort of this partisan debate, and I just got really mad and I said, look, fires know no political boundaries, they know no partisan boundaries. We've got to do something to get ahead of this problem, and we did. Ron and Greg and I and others worked on something called the Healthy Forest Restoration Act, which is to get out there, particularly starting in our urban interface areas, the WUIs, and work back into the forest, and then also go after the most critical watersheds in the forest. The plan was, we are going to get ahead of this. Well, Congress has never ever adequately funded that program. So in addition to more robust funding for fires and declaring at a certain point that's enough, it's now a national disaster, we also have to give much more robust funding to the Forest Service and the BLM so that they can get out there and get ahead of this problem so we can not have the intensity we have. There's someone who say, oh, fires are natural. The intensity of many of the fires we're seeing today are unprecedented because we have been repressing and mismanaging the forests and the fires for over a century. So on the east side, you got trees that shouldn't be there that are over 20 inches in diameter. Then under some stupid temporary rule adopted during the Clinton administration, we can't take out those 20-inch firs that don't belong there, that are growing into the crowns of the ponderosas that can withstand a fire. Those kind of policies have to change too. Congress really needs to get its act together. We've got to get ahead of this problem. So thank you all for being here today. Thank you for your